Come and Talk channel. I've seen him do commentary on it. I've seen other people do a few bits and pieces of commentary on this rant, and it is a rant. I'm one of the. I think a lot of people have picked up on it. You screen recorded it this morning. Just needed to. I get that, the Observer. I get that. Good morning, Mal. Good morning. Yeah, I get that. It's a lot. It is 7 minutes long. I'm surprised that I think, judging from what we saw previously with the fact that they went. Thank you for the homie Jojo. Judging by the fact that I think E is trying to recover from their night out and the response after that night out. So I think at the moment they're hiding. I say hiding in air quotes. Because they're not really hiding, but I don't think they really want to come live because of the backlash. Thank you for the heart knee. Because of the backlash that that night out caused. And then basically mocking SA. So what I was going to say was, I've reviewed this clip a few times, and there are some inconsistencies. What happened on the night out? Well, he made a joke about, like, they're asking for it kind of thing. Asking for, like, them to be attacked during a night out, basically. And a lot of people had a lot of reaction to it, which rightfully so, rightfully so. And they were, proclaiming to be vulnerable and all those things. To raising this, no FYP shows. Really, the Observer. I've seen a few people talk about it in video format. I think the one that I've seen is the Toothless Prince cover it on his commentary talk one. But I did a video, and I think I stitched Angry Irish, and it's in my drafts at the moment, purely because after watching it more, I wanted to do a live stream on it, and also I wanted to sit down and have the full-blown conversation, because obviously there are parts in this that I can agree with, and parts that I've done a video on and have agreed with Elphaba on. I do think the way in which Elphaba has gone about this has a lot of questions. Hey, Kirsten. I forgot to share this out again. I'm always forgetting to share out my lives. Hey, Kirsten. The way in which there are parts in this that I can agree with, but the way in which it's almost as if Elphaba's having three different conversations at once, and you can kind of see where their anger is. Now, as somebody that I've done a video going over the slippery slope of what this can lead to and the implications socially of not just on the trans community but the whole LGBT plus community, and what that can implement on somebody such as myself and others. And yes, I can understand. I've seen other people talk about it and they're angry and they're upset. As somebody that has also been angry and upset as well, we need to find a middle ground, because while the way in which Alpha has gone about this, it's more like they're sticking their two fingers up to biological women, and it's going to create an us versus them. Oh no, you've had some bad news overnight. Oh no, if you don't wish to share, that's up to you. Shauna, you're always welcome to share your news if you want to share your news. Just know that we're all here for you. It's never good to have bad news. Never good to have bad news. But oh no. And this is where that's the thing that I was angry about, because this is what we're going to see now. I'm so sorry that your friend, and my heart goes out to your friend's family, you and others. This is where I can understand that this is the reason why I say people shouldn't be celebrating what's happened, because it's going to have repercussions, and these are the repercussions. I've seen people talk about, because it's all under the Equalities Act of 2010, and people are saying that yes, it's defining things and whatever, and that trans people are still protected. Yes, it's a double-edged sword, because yes, some legality, yes, but on the other hand of things, socially, look at what's happened. Look at the comment sections. All you need to do is look at the comment sections. Thinking I'm in pieces. Don't know what to think or do anymore. Just take each moment, Shauna. Take each moment. My DMs are always open. Other people's DMs are always open. Just take each moment. Reach out. Know that you're loved and supported. The world. The world is a very dark day. What's happening? We're just talking at the minute, Felicia. Shauna's, your transgender life. Shauna's just come in and shared some sad news about one of their friends passing. We're going to be going over a rant that Elphaba did. There are parts of it that I disagree with and parts of it that I do agree with. But that's what's happening right now, and we're just going to have the conversation and just have the discussion. But I just know that my DMs are open and other people's DMs are open, and that you are loved and supported. Because these are really trying and dark times. Are you okay there?
I'm fucking sore.
You're sore. That's what you get for working 24 hours a day. Or almost 24 hours a day.
And 12 hours again today.
You're doing 12 hours today?
10, 15, 10.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yay for bank holidays.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, for bank holidays. You don't watch the news, but have they changed the law? Saw a lady speaking about new laws. They have changed the laws slightly, Felicia. So they're just basically, the Supreme Court have ruled, due to the Equality Act of 2010. Hey Angie, due to the Equality Act of 2010, a biological woman, what's defined as a woman is now a biological woman. So that excludes trans women. In places such as, it will come into effect in places such as hospitals, sports, things like changing rooms. Bathrooms will probably be included in that as well. And I find it interesting that only trans women are excluded in that Equality Act and not trans men. um, which is the one of the arguments that I had was sort of like, well, biologically, and it in Alphaba's clip, Alphaba's going to be saying it as well, but more in a very aggressive tone. Um, Biologically, if a because what they're trying to define a trans woman, it defines a woman as biologically a woman at birth, kind of thing. So, and because of the way our laws work, everything is always done so vaguely, and under the Equality Act, trans women are still protected. So it's a double-edged sword in that sense, because in one hand it excludes in one sense, but under the Discriminatory Act, trans women are still protected under the discriminatory side of things. Um, is that going to work out socially? No. No. Um, right, Angie says essentially it's put the rights back where they started. That's not to say there shouldn't be safe spaces for everyone. Right, Angie, exactly. And this is where a lot of people are rightfully angry. I was angry as well. Thank you for the heart me, Angie, as well. I was angry as myself as well, because I can see the slippery slope, especially when you look at, say, America, and because of America are also basically trying to strip away human rights bills and protections online. It's all to do with the trade deals. That's another aspect, which is wild to me. But like, that's the reason why sort of like it's a slippery slope that the UK is going down, and I feel like we need to find a middle ground, because I've seen arguments go on. I've seen very heated arguments on one side and very heated arguments on another, and it's creating an us versus them. And while yes, like it's difficult because to have the nuance come, we should be having these nuanced conversations. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this as a live stream, so that everyone can have their say and talk about it as well. There wouldn't have been a need for this if certain parts of your community hadn't tried to change. And that's an argument that some people have had as well. I think I've seen somebody make that argument. I've seen somebody made that argument as well. I think in one aspect, I can understand that biological women want to feel safe. And on the flip side of that, the LGBT plus community also want to feel safe as well. How men and women are seen as cis men and women. And I guess that's all to do with like language. I mean, me myself, I don't mind being called cis, but I know not everyone agrees with that. I myself don't mind being called a cis man. I know a lot of people online, a lot of women online don't like being called cis women, and like to be referred to as biological women, and that's fine. People can have that viewpoint as well. You know what I mean? And I understand that sort of like it's on the flip side of that argument, because like I understand that side of the argument, but on the flip side of that argument, for trans people are defining a trans woman as a trans woman, and as a trans man as a trans man. You know what I mean? There's a flip side to that coin as well. You hate the term cis women. I'm a woman, simple as, and I get that, Mel. I get that. You know, everyone. I get that. I mean, the only time I've ever had to use the only time I've ever had to use the term cis man for myself is during like conversations like this. I've never had to use cis man in like any other context. But I fully understand it. I fully understand. Um, but like, I can understand both sides of the argument. I can understand that women want to be called women, but then it's a very much double edged sword because on the flip side of that, a lot of people are defining a trans man as a trans man and a trans woman as a trans woman. You know what I mean? It's a very much. I can see both sides of the argument with it. This is the reason why I hate being a Libra. It's the Libra in me. I have to, I do try to see both sides of balancing. Um, but I fully understand that everyone has their own perspectives and everyone has their own way of saying things. Why can't we live side by side? Yeah, and acknowledge the nuances of our situations. Right, Angie? Exactly. Exactly. Right, Kirsten? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? We should be living side by side. And this is the reason why, sort of like, I made the video that I made on regards to the Supreme Court ruling, and how I feel like it could be a slippery slope. Um, and like I said, when I do videos and when I do live streams, yes, I can get heated and angry at times, but I do try and give all sides to it. Thank you for the heart, me Law. Um, so we've got Elphaba's response on IG. You're a Libra and too. I like things to equal. Yeah, right, Angie. I love balance. It's the Libra in us. We love balance. Gets us into trouble though. So wait, hang on. Let me get this up. So this is the IG. Um, this is the IG. um, and I think it's the. I understand Elphaba's anger, but it's the approach upon which Elphaba takes that has me both confused, but also very much, very much. It's a lot, is what I'll say. It's definitely a lot. Thank you for the rose, Angie. It's definitely a lot.
Fucking real? Are we actually in a fucking matrix or something to actually do that? Are you for real? Oh my actual god, this is crazy.
I mean, there's the whole simulation theory. I hope there's no echo, by the way. Um, there's the whole simulation theory. I mean, that's very much the manosphere really has polluted the matrix. Good TV show though. Thank you, Kirsten. There's no echo. Um, the Matrix is a good film series. But no, we're not. We're not in the Matrix. This is definitely real life. It can feel like a simulation at times. Trust me, it can definitely feel like a simulation at times.
This is fucking nuts. What the fuck is the UK going to? For real.
I think you meant coming to, not going to, coming to. And I think when it comes to Elphaba in a lot of sense, Elphaba really doesn't think before they speak. And you'll see this a lot. Especially when it comes to this, because even in the context of what Elphaba was talking about, Elphaba gets a lot wrong. But you mean the UK, what the UK's coming to, not going to, coming to. He says so much while saying nothing and manages to usually be offensive too. Yeah, crazy Llama. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't care. That's wrong. Nah, I'll get arrested. I actually want to say, you're not fucking searching me. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, for
I wouldn't put that out into the universe about you being arrested, because people might call your bluff on it. And people physically can't search you. I mean, they could, but it'll be in violation of your human rights.
real. What the fuck? What the actual fuck is the fucking UK going to?
Coming to.
Oh, so you're gonna villainize us, but you're gonna spend money on wars and fucking spend on nukes and fucking bombing places. And
This was a wild leap to jump to. This was a wild leap to jump to. From trans rights to war. This was a wild leap to jump from trans rights to war. Yeah, I know. Hopefully I won't get a violation for it. It was a very weird jump to jump from one. This is the reason why it's sort of like, this whole thing is three different, I think Elphaba's having three different conversations at once. Like, and there's, I think Elphaba also needs to understand the Supreme Court ruling, and the Supreme Court is a different entity to the government. The Supreme Court, thank you for sharing the live. The Supreme Court is a different entity to the government. Now, we can make the argument, it was a wild tangent to swing to. We can make the argument that the government can step in and overturn what the Supreme Court have done. That's the argument if we're going to go down the government road. But ultimately, this is where I think Elphaba, you really need to look at what's being said before jumping to this. Because you went from trans rights to war and the government, but the government don't control what happened in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court made those rulings. Now the argument you can have is the government can overturn what the Supreme Court have done. But again, this was a wild leap to go to, and it's a very extreme leap to go to. And I think it was in Toothless Prince's video, we as a country technically need those NYKEs for protection and defense. War and defense is something different. And like, this is a completely different conversation to the conversation of trans people being villainized. War is a completely different conversation. Now, we can make the argument of where money's being spent and what money should be spent on. Like, because let's be real, J.K. Rowling spent £70,000, donated £70,000 to the cause of what happened. That wasn't the government, that was an author. like we can make the argument of where money's being spent and who should be able to donate to what. That's another argument that we can have. But this is the reason why, like, 3 different conversations all at once.
You're gonna call us a danger when you're the fucking danger. You're the fucking people out there are killing people.
Again, but who? Because are you lobbying this at, it feels like you're lobbying this at government. But again, government aren't the ones that made this decision. The Supreme Court is. The Supreme Court are the ones that made this decision.
And the fucking elites, you're
Hey, Feral Cheryl, the elites. Okay.
fucking, oh my god, I'm just, nah. This can't probably get banned. But I don't actually care, I'm gonna say how it is. I don't fucking like that. That's not okay, that's taking our rights. Like, do you know what they want to do? They want all...
Okay. But again, if you, and as I say, I was angry as well. Andrew says, you should Google why NY, are needed and used. Their primary use is to stop aggression. Yes, it is, Andrew. Yes, it is. Thank you for the team cheers and heart me's. So, I can understand being angry and having rights taken away. So, and I was angry as well. But again, just, it's not, socially, yes, socially people are celebrating, and socially, and legally, like in hospitals and changing rooms and toilets and things like that, things are going to change. And I get that. And, you know, it is a step back and a blowback towards trans women. It is. And I understand the anger. You need to fight the system, though. We need to have this conversation.
All of us are turning on each other, so we fight. It's called a civil war. That's World War III done. That's what's gonna happen.
You clearly didn't take a history class. So this is the reason why I wanted to do this as a live and not a video, because I'll be here forever. There's a difference between civil war and world war. Civil war is the country turning on itself. A world war is different countries going to war. Elphaba, I really need you to stop and think before you speak, because what you're saying is, and the conversation you want to have, the overall, and I think the overall conversation you want to have is people at the top, and this can go again, this can be the whole race wars that we've been having, the immigration stuff that we've been having, the many different conversations that are currently permeating between each other. Because, like, the conversation that Elphaba wants to have is, instead of trans women and trans men and the LGBT plus community going against straight people and, like, that's that war, what Elphaba is trying to say is, instead of people going against each other, go against the government. That is the conversation that Elphaba wants to have. Oh. But there's a difference between civil war and world war. Yeah, I was, yeah. But I understand the conversation you want to have, Alphabet. I really do. I do understand the conversation, but you are what I think the problem I'm seeing is Alphabet wants to have about 50 different conversations all at once. Now, no one wants war between the different communities, but understanding is needed. Right, exactly. Morning, Jackie. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, I just. There is a difference between civil and world war. Is it going to cause. Is what's happening right now causing civil unrest? Yes, it is. It is causing civil unrest. It is. And the people who have money and who have power are the ones causing civil unrest. See, this is where I can agree with what Elphaba morning none on the run. I can agree with what Elphaba is saying. It's just the disconjointed converse. It's just the way in which Elphaba is saying it.
This is what's happening right now. It's in the daytime. It's happening. Civil war.
You mean in broad daylight? Instead of you, and again, what you mean is it's no longer being done behind closed doors. It's no longer being the discriminatory actions of certain people is no longer happening behind closed doors. Again, a conversation we could be having. That's what you mean. I'm just going to be becoming an alphabet translator. I don't get paid enough for this shit.
It's the fucking modern purge. Killing us off by ourselves.
I really couldn't get into the Purge films. The Purge films were not for me. The Purge films were not for me.
Programming us to do it to ourselves. Don't care, I'll get banned for it. But they're making us turn on each other and call us names to each other and divide
Okay.
us and conquer. That's what it is. Don't believe me? Wake up! And
Girl, I'm awake. I think I should need to be doing shots, but I'm awake. Had the government agreed to this? Certain government officials have gleefully acknowledged it. I don't know whether they've actually agreed, but certain government officials have delighted in the fact of it, yeah. It's never been behind closed doors. It's just about how loud money speaks, yes. And things get sorted out. Yes, Angie, yeah, exactly, yep. Now it says, no one is making anyone turn on anyone. That's down to each individual's own choices. Right, Mel? Yeah. I think, again, this was misplaced. Ian, I'm a massive conspiracy theorist, so anything goes to the extreme. This is very much to the extreme.
I'm just going to say this right now. Some biological women, some right-winged people out there want to...
And this is where this led right into this. And I'm going to play that again because this is where this is where your problem comes in.
Don't believe me? Wake up! And I'm just going to say this right now. Some biological women, some right-winged people out there want to claim about...
Right. This is where you fucked up. Not just with what you were going on about government and that debacle. This is where you royally fucked up. Because you now... Because people are going to look at this. Not everyone... Even people who were celebrating Not everyone is right-winged. You can't do this, us versus them. This is the reason why sort of like, it's about personal comfort and boundaries. I get that, Angie. Can government overrule the Supreme Court? Yes, none of them they can. They can eventually, yeah. Right, Jules. This is where you lost. I can agree, even though I'm trying to translate things, I can agree with certain things. This is where you lost me, because not everyone is right-winged. You don't Alphabet, you don't like being put in a box, but what you've just done is put biological women in the box of being right-winged. Not everyone's like that. Now, me myself, some of my ideologies sway more left, but actually, because of how balanced I try and be, I'm more of a centralist. Not everyone is right-winged. Not everyone who is celebrating the current ruling is right-winged. No, I don't think the critical thinking skills are there. I understand both sides, but I don't understand why he's so angry, because he doesn't want to change. Right, I get that. I understand that. And if the government overrules this ruling, it will put biological women on the back foot again. And I get that, Angie. I get that. And a lot, this is the reason why I don't think the government will overrule it. Hey, Velvet, I don't think the government will overrule it. I know a lot of people want them to, but I don't think they will. I'm doing good, Velvet. I hope you're doing good too. I know a lot of people want to, but I don't think they will, because it will create more of an issue again. But this was right-winged people.
I'm crying for women's rights. I want to protect your rights. No. You're taking our rights away, and we've always existed. You cry about rights, but you want others to be taken away.
Right. And I spoke about the slippery slope of, look at what's happening in America, and the UK's going down that same road of things like that. Judging from what I've seen, a lot of rights, as in, but on the one hand, yes, trans women's rights are being taken away in some aspects, but in other aspects, the Discrimination Act still exists. The Human Rights Act still exists. Trans women are still protected under those acts. They're still protected under those acts. I get that, Angie. I get that. Yeah, but I feel like they know Avatar. None of them says he will try and gather their supporters to gather around them on a protest. Well, they may go on a protest. Well, let's do that. All right, to keep others warm. Yeah, I get that, Angie. Yeah, I do. What right has got to say that women's rights are taken away? Yeah, we're gonna get into that, because they do talk about that. And I've made the same point, but it's the way in which Elphaba talks about that same point that's wild to me.
Oh, that right. So make it make sense. Make it make fucking sense. Be for real. Come on. We should all be loving each other and not turning on each other. It's ridiculous. Makes me angry. It really fucking does. I go fuck.
We're well aware, which your feelings are valid. We're well aware.
Fucking nuts. Oh, I can't stand it. Like, people's rights being taken away. It's not okay. And you think, and everyone thinks it's, nah.
You okay, Angie? Hey, Victoria. People in social, you're right, Jackie. Yeah, they do.
One more thing as well, let me just say. You say that, oh, there's danger.
We're gonna get into it, and I've made the same point, but not in the same way.
Like, yeah, oh my god, it's dangerous to go in the bathrooms. Do you realise now a man can pretend to be a trans man and go in your bathroom? So you're fucked. It's now more unsafe for you and everyone else. So
I've made the same point, but it's your delivery with this. And considering what you pulled in the past, this doesn't land well.
So you're proud of yourselves, the government's proud of themselves. Oh,
It's the Supreme Court. Again, you need to differentiate between the Supreme Court and the government.
oh my god, I'm gonna lose it. Just calm down. You just don't understand. Like, I'm very passionate about this, and I'm not having it. Like, I know it's hilarious to you, but
You're not having it. Unfortunately, we can't change what's been done. I mean, we can do petitions. There's a petition out there. There are petitions. There are things that people have put forward. I've made videos. Other people have made videos. Yes, unfortunately, we can't change what's been done. We can only come together, try and, it's like that whole like breaking bread kind of thing. You know what I mean? Did you see this? Tell me you don't understand the ruling without telling me you don't understand. Well, there's that. Good morning, Bandberg. Good morning, Kim and Tic Tac. Hello. That's why he's saying they can't arrest me at the beginning because he still intends to go in. Yeah, I know. We're going to get into the uneducated part as well.
it's not funny to me because if you actually think about it, now people's rights have been taken away, and also now men who have beards and things like that, you can just go in the women's bathroom and you can say, no, I'm actually a trans man, I'm on testosterone. You can just say that.
Tell me you don't understand trans men without telling me you don't understand trans men. Just so God. So a man can walk in with a full beard and just say, I'm a trans man on testosterone. They'd have to provide a certificate of that. But okay.
Now, before, you used to call us a danger. You're more in danger now, babe. Way more. Way.
This coming from the individual who doesn't have any of those things in place. You don't have any of those things in place. Not a gender recognition certificate or any of those things. And you're not on estrogen. So you're making the... I understand you're angry, but you're making the point. It's like that meme. You walk straight into the point and it just flew straight over your head. You're making the point. Oh, you... Like... You're making the point.
Fucking more. Way more. Way more. I know this is a meltdown, but I don't care. It's honesty. It's true. A trans man can now pretend to be a biological woman
A trans man can pretend to be a biological woman. Again, you walked straight into the point and carried on walking. You walked straight into the point because the point you're making is a correct point. Because by legal definitions, if a trans woman is legally now defined by their assigned sex at birth, which would be trans woman, it would be male, then the opposite way, trans men would be biologically female. There'd be no pretending. It's not pretending. It's the point. I hate the argument.
Right? You could be like, yeah, I was born a woman. Yeah, I've just on testosterone. They can't really search you for that, can they? Because that would be...
There's something called a gender recognition certificate, but okay. Yeah, the US has done it as well, yeah. The US has.
You know, if they went there, you know, you can't really search. So you can just have a beard now, go in the women's bathroom and be like, I was born a woman. You can pretend. Now you're in danger. Now you're in way more danger. I'll be honest, for real. Like, you could be like, yeah.
But again, that logic also applies to you. You're walking straight into the point of why. You're walking into the point of why this was done. You're walking into the point of why this was done. Elphaba. Like, socially, yes, you can claim being trans. I get that. You have done nothing to transition. So, for all intents and purposes, you are the reason why this is happening. You are walking into the point. Yes, you're making the argument that trans men, or the argument that you're making, or what the argument that you want to make, and it's the argument that I've made of a man, biological straight men who want to harm biological women can now just say they're a trans man. That is the argument that you want to make. That's the argument that you want to make. How you're going about it, though, needs a lot to be desired. Because the argument can be flipped. Because I know Alphaba's not going to like this. Biologically, you are a man. You have done nothing to transition. Nothing. All you've done is grown out your hair and wear dresses and makeup. Well, I have wigs, makeup, and a dress, right? The argument that you are trying to make applies to you. Right, Louise. The argument that you're trying to make applies to you. Biological women aren't necessarily afraid of trans women. It's people like you. who aren't doing anything to transition. And this is where in their world nothing applies to them, right? Yeah, I know. All the nearly trans women who've unfairly decided men and women are cis men and cis women. Yeah, I get that. It Alphabet, like, I know you're trying to make the. I understand the argument that Alphabet is trying to make. The argument that Alphabet is trying to make is biological men who abuse biological women are just now going to have more of an argument because they can just turn around and say, well, I'm a trans man. Well, they're going to need to prove that with a gender certificate. But you technically can't check it. Right? You can't check that. What are they going to do? Like, check someone's pants? They're not going to do that because it would be against human rights. You know what I mean? I understand the argument that Alphabet is trying to make. The reason why Alphabet is going to come under fire or come under a problem is at this current moment in time, we could move forward. They've got their appointment in April 30th. Throughout the years that Alphabet said they're going to transition, they haven't. So at this moment in time, the reason why things are being done the way that they are is because of characters such as Elphaba. Those with a gender certificate know what that is and what that entails. Right, Dark Mother, yeah. Can I ask generally, is this good for the genuine trans community? You have to have certificates now. I mean, the trans community have always had to have certificates, as far as what I'm aware of. As far as what I'm aware of. I mean, we've been saying this for years. Yeah, the trans community has been under fire for so many years. GRA in place since 2004. So I'm taking a swig of my e-cig. You know, it's a very... as I said, I understand Alphaba's anger. I'm more concerned about E in bathroom than random men pretending to be trans in there. I get that crazy llama. I can understand that. I think it's the way in which E carries themselves, and I think that's where a problem can come in. I just wish there are so many things in this where I'm just like, oh, I wish you hadn't. I wish he hadn't. Their anger is very surface, like he googled what to think and say, right, Dark Mother, and like, it's just, I can understand that. No, but what I mean is, genuine trans won't worry. It's people like E that it bothered. Right, Kim. I mean, I've seen a lot of genuine trans people who are, concerned and worried about what this entails because, it's going to affect a lot of the trans community. Yes, Dark Mother, yeah, the trans community is petrified. It's petrified. And it's not just, this is where in my video that I did discussing this, I said that, it's not just going to affect the trans community. Like, I'm somebody that has wigs. I have wigs, I have a dress, I wear makeup. I'm not trans. I'm a gay man who, we say cosplay, cosplay like icons and drag icons and all those things. And, if I went out there in the dress and wig and makeup, would I be attacked now? And that's a constant fear that, like, drag queens have. I mean, I'm not a drag queen because I don't do it that often, but you get my point. And, like, there are genuine biological women who have like things like PCOS and biological women who have been through the menopause and like they're going to get facial hair and things like that. Like it's not just going to affect the trans community because although Alphabet is wrong in a lot of the sense of what they're saying here, they're right in the sense of they're not going to be able to police things. And you have women who have PCOS, who have things like facial hair, and things like that. And, you know, what about women who have the pixie cut? I love a good woman with a pixie cut. And there are women out there who, you know, don't conform to what is technically feminine. And it's going to affect them because are they going to be accused of being trans women? Do you know what I mean? This is where it's a very slippery slope that we're going down. And this is the reason why I think people need to really stop and think that, yes, I understand that people want to feel safe. I fully respect that biological women want to feel safe from characters such as Elphaba. Elphaba's not the only one, but such as Elphaba. And I fully respect that. I fully respect that people want to feel safe. But then on the flip side of that, the LGBT plus community also want to feel safe as well. And it's very, very much, it's going to affect everyone. All women want to feel safe from alphabet or tea or shade. Dark Mother. Well, we all want to feel safe from alphabet. But you know what I mean. It's very much a, you know, it's very much a thing. We've had the ruling. We all need to read and fully understand what it means long term too. For yes, we do. Yeah, thank you for following Dark Mother. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do, Angie. Yep. And we just need to see how this plays out as well. I know a lot. As I say, a lot of people are upset, and I get that. Yes, he was blamed. Yes, this is what we're reviewing to now, Sarah. Yeah, he was blaming biological women on that insta. Yes, they are. Yeah, and that's because it's people like J.K. Rowling and people like that. You've already spoken to your sisters. That's good, Dark Mother. Yeah. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading comments. Has Jackson put anything out yet? Does anyone know? That I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Do I follow Jackson? I'm not too sure. Kim says, sorry, but I genuinely think E goes into women's spaces as a superiority thing. And that is the problem, Kim. The way in which E carries themselves and tries to one up biological women all the time. And that's the problem. So it says, I'm a bi woman and my heart goes out to the trans community. I don't want anyone to be scared. Right, Sarah. Exactly. Good morning, Miller the Wisp. Good morning. Now says, if E hates women so much, why does E want to be one? I never understood that. I don't know, Mel. I don't really understand that, to be honest. Dark Mother says, but what has JK done for all the other issues facing women? Waspy women, etc. Radio silence. Well, exactly, Dark Mother. It's J.K. Rowling is a freaking problem. Oh, although she did get roomed on Twitter, I saw. People were saying about the mold, which was wild. Crazy Llama says, E is complaining, but E is the cause if stuff like this. Right, yeah, exactly, Crazy Llama, exactly. So if it's lots of things. That's okay, Dark Mother, feel free to comment away. And she says, when the trouble first started in America around the swimming, and they were humiliated and made to stand by the clergy, so I'm butchering that, who unfairly stripped them medals. And that's the thing, Angie. It's very much like what we're seeing in America, which, by the way, America are saying that not going to have any trade deals with us unless we remove certain protections, online protections, and things like that. Um, so this is the problem. Due influence is happening in the UK, and it's so we're heading into very murky and dark waters. Mum to 7. You're laying in hospital bed currently. Just had sorry, I'm gonna butcher that. Endiment. Why can I not say that word? Endometrius surgery. I can't say it. Sorry. Uh, does E want that too? No, I don't think Mum to 7. I don't think E wants that. But I hope you're having a speedy recovery. Like that's not nice. Kim says same here. God love the trans community. I respect anyone who has made the effort to be what they exactly, Kim. Exactly. It's very difficult. I'm not a trans woman. I have It's not a. I'm not diagnosed with this. I have body issues. I would say body dysmorphia, but body issues for a different reason, like the scarring that I have and everything like that. Um, I wish I could change my morning, Barbara. I wish I could change mine, but I can't. Um, Riley Gaines was also invited to speak and then held in a room for hours whilst trans rights. Really? Jesus, there's a lot. Protests intimidated the police into not helping her. Yeah, sending massive hugs too. I want my raccoon back. I'm protesting a quirky cat. I know. I thank you for the treasure box. Thank you for the heart me as well, Evil Penny. I will. There's got to be a way I can get the raccoon back. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way I can get it. There's got to be a way I can get it back. Thank you for the heart me. There's got to be a way I can get it back. I don't know how yet. I need to fiddle with the issues. What happened to the raccoon? Animes, the software that I use, updated, and then it went weird, so I had to create my own avatar. Don't come for me, but I like the new one. A lot of people do like the new avatar. I might, if I get the raccoon back, I might switch between the raccoon and this one. I might switch between the two. I do like this avatar. It's very interesting. I wish I was this thin. I'm not. I've got a bit more weight on me than that. Yes, the raccoon was good. Hey, Budget Boo, long time no see. Yes, I have not been live in a while. I've not been live in a while. When I saw the person, I thought it was a fake Josh account. No, Victoria, no. No, I'm not popular enough to have fake accounts made about me. That's not an invitation, by the way, just to let you know. That's not an invitation. Oh yeah, so yeah, this am I only halfway through this thing? Oh my god, I'm only halfway through. Yes, we are on a Betty. We're on a Betty. We're having many different. You know how my lives go, Barbara. Purple is the best color, though. It is dark matter. I love the color purple. It's the color of royalty. Not that I'm fucking royal, but it's the color of royalty. Kim says, "Did Ian not say the appointment on the 30th wasn't to transition when we drunk?" Yes, yes. So first it was to do with. I believe first it was to do with hormones, then it was to do with something else, now it's to do with vocals. I honestly don't think it's going to happen. But yes, purple is the colour of royalty. Not that I'm a royal person, but royalty. I'm only halfway through this thing. God, I already have a headache. Oh.
Yeah, I was born a woman, I'm just a trans man, yeah. And you could be seeing all these perverts eyeing you out in the bathroom now. You're fucked. And I'm just...
Does anybody want to tell them? Anybody want to tell them? You see, this is where it's all like... For me, like I don't have. I was gonna say I don't have this issue mainly because I don't use the toilet in public. I try not. I myself, as a gay man, and as somebody that doesn't really go out in public much anymore, anyway. As a gay man, and as somebody that even when I was back in school and everything, I did not like using public toilets at all. I'd wait. I'd hold it all day if I had to. I'd hold it all day if I have to. Wait until I come in. Wait until I come in. Like I just nope. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's just because of the way I am. But for me, I don't. It's not that I don't feel safe in a bathroom. Because obviously when I've been out drinking, yeah, that we've used it then. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like I'm one of these people that I'm just a quick in and out kind of person. I don't linger. I don't just no. I'm just go for basically a piss, wash my hands and out, just out. But I generally try not to. Like I hate using, like I don't like using public toilets. Thank you for the speaker and the team bracelet. I just maybe that's just me. Public toilets actually gross me out. Right, Dark Mother. I mean, I don't know what the women's toilets are like. Never been in one. Don't want to be in one. The men's toilets, on the other hand, the very few times that I've been in there are quite gross. Are quite gross. So no, just no. I'm sure they're lovely. Don't ever use them. Just no. Maybe it's that his last comment. His last comment is where the lines are blurred, as their definition of them isn't was born in. Oh right, yeah, I get that. Where I work, I don't always have access to a toilet. Some I don't want to use. I've taken to. I'm gonna open the next comment. Sarah Mo. The treasure box is now empty. Yeah, I do feel like that. Sarah 19. I feel like E antagonizes women the way they speak about them. Yes, Sarah, I do think that. Thank you for the roses, Barbara. 2K to keep time. Oh, we're 2K away. You used to work in a pub and have to clean them. Oh, I used to live above a pub. The toilets. Oh, yeah. Some of you men, by the way, this isn't me coming against my gender, but some of you men didn't wash your hands before touching those peanuts in pubs. Vile. Ew. Ew. Yeah, Sarah 19. It was just one of those things. So like, because I grew up up above a pub when I'm in my teenage years. Because my mum was married to the pub owner way back in the day, and yeah, yes. Some of the stories. Never eat peanuts from a bowl on the bar. Exactly, Mel. Never. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the reason I don't take anything shared in a pub. The exit. Well, here's the thing. I mean, have I robbed a few pub glasses over the years? Yeah. I've robbed a few pub glasses over the years. And a few pub ashtrays. When I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. Well, I say that whilst having an e-cig. Is there a date to when this new law starts? I think is there a date? I think it already has, from what I can gather. My view is you don't live like that, so don't leave it like that. Massive germaphobe. Right, Dark Mother, exactly. You don't live like that, so don't leave it like that. Exactly. They don't count, right, Dexy? The amount of they're all smashed now. Uh, maybe I need to go to a pub to rob a few glasses. Never mind. They were big though. They were big. The pub bar. I stole my cupboard. I think we've got one. Yeah, we've got a. Yeah, we don't use it, but we got one. But damn, like those pub glasses were big. And now I want to go and rob a pub glass.
Saying that to right-winged people, all my allies and women out there that support trans rights, I love you so much because
Right winged. Again, you're creating an us versus them mentality with that because not everyone is right winged. You got a load from my friend. He works in one. I need them for my new house. Nice, Dexy. Nice. Nice. My thing with manners is why do kids think they're okay putting their feet on seats where we sit? Yes. Angie, yeah. Yeah, there are. Kids today on the buses are wild. Wild. Absolutely wild, Angie. Absolutely wild.
I'm getting upset. Can't like.
Okay.
It's just not okay to do that. It's not okay to have the government say that about us, you know.
It's not the oh my god. I'm going to lose brain cells. The 2 brain cells I have left. It's the Supreme Court. It's the Supreme Court. For fuck's sake, tell me you don't understand what the difference is without telling me. Thank you for the level up. Thank you, Boo. It's the Supreme Court. Different branch, okay? Oh.
And all I'm saying is I'm not now people out there can now say like I'm a man and making it.
You do realise people did that anyway? People could do that anyway. And the thing is, people do that to trans people anyway. And the Discrimination Act still exists. It still exists. Is it a setback? Yes. Are people going to be more emboldened to do it? Yes. But people have been doing it anyway. People do it anyway. It's not gonna. Okay.
Get away with it. And they can like go out and be like, yeah, like no one gets what we go through. No one gets it.
Oh, we do. We definitely do.
We feel trapped in our bodies. We feel so trapped in ourselves that we hate ourselves. And we go.
Says the person who has their dick out more than anyone I ever fucking know. Says the person who has their dick out more than a drag queen. Learn to tuck. Oh. Ugh.
Go through that process and we have to live with that for the rest of our lives unless we change something. And then we do all the bullying, then we do all the discrimination, then we do all the hate crime, then we go through all that fucking shit in real life, and then now we're villainized.
I'm failing to see what the difference between People are going to feel more emboldened, sure. This has been happening, E. Oh, God. This has been happening. Okay? That's true, Jamie, yeah. E hates women, so... Does E understand what actual women have to go through? It's so insulting. Well, Tic Tac, no, I don't. I don't think E fully understands.
Wow! Sorry, I'm quite aggressive, I can't lie. I just had to calm down because I'm just very passionate about rights. All my allies are out.
You're passionate about rights. Fair. I'm also passionate about rights too. Fair.
Allies out there, I love you so much. Like, you're the best. And...
Unless they're calling your ass out, then you don't love us.
You know, I'm sorry for being aggressive, but I'm passionate because what else can you be now? You know, like, having our own fucking existence be, like, discriminated against. What the fuck?
Your existence being discriminated against. Okay. I'm trying to keep us women go through harassment on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, women go through a lot of harassment. There is a distinct line between passion and aggression. There is, Darkmother, there is. Women go through a lot of harassment. A lot.
Fuck! We live in this fucking world. It's 2025. Oh my god. Oh. I'm literally... Oh. Just... No. I'm gonna go to Parliament fucking Square and I'm gonna be right there and I fucking tell you.
That would require you to get up your ass. Just a thought. He hasn't gone through anything, though. They're pretending. I get that, Kim. He's got no clue what they go through. He's too scared to go through. Right, yeah. Yeah. Okay. There is that, I believe there is a protest happening.
Fucking done. You need to calm down, I'm so sorry. Because, fucking hell. I'm just passionate. I'm sorry. I just having a little meltdown, innit? Like, on an Instagram story, it's not TikTok Live, at least, you know, I can control myself what I say, but, oh.
Okay. I mean, physically, I've had 2 cesareans and a hysterectomy and brought up 2 healthy, happy boys. God, that is an achievement. God, wow. My mum had to bring up 3 boys, so... Yeah, bringing up boys is not easy. Bringing up any child's not easy. But boys especially. You've been in unisex toilets and not felt bothered. Not keen on unisex changing rooms in shots. That's okay, Kaisalami. Yeah, I get that. Could you imagine E being removed from Parliament Square and shouting, I've been wrong? Oh, I can definitely imagine it. Thank you for the, what was that, popular vote, Budjaboo, thank you. TJ says, this isn't passion, this is E throwing E's teddies out of the pram. It feels that way.
It's just not okay, you know, like, to do that and to try and do that to someone, you know, and to a community.
To do that to someone. Okay.
And to... I'm going to be at Parliament Square at that protest. I'm going to share it in a minute. I'll be there, and if you're going to be there, I'll be there as well, because I'm not... This can't happen anymore. We have to protest this.
There is a protest. This is in Parliament Square.
stuff now. Like, this is ridiculous. And we voted Labour in. What?
Not the government. Oh my god. Also, are you going to protest with what they're doing to the disabled community too? Just as a thought, you know, whilst you're also coming on and screaming, you know how you were going on about your on the, you know, you're going. That's another issue. You know how you were going on and, you know, you're going to go think a professional, right? Are you also going to lobby and protest against that and what they're doing to the autistic and ADHD community? No, I didn't think so. You see, that is Labour. What's happening now is the Supreme Court. If you want to have the argument of what Labour's doing, Jesus Christ, there's so much that Labour's doing to marginalised communities.
Pretty much conservative, to be honest. Let's just say that.
Huh?
Notice how it says male police officers, yeah? Not female. Men!
What?
In a minute, I'll this in. What? Pretty much conservative, to be honest. Let's just say that. Notice how it says male police officers, yeah? Not female. Men!
That was tacked at the fucking end. Right, Jolo, with what Labour's doing to the disabled community is absolutely fucking wild. Because apparently our rights don't fucking exist. I created a thing. I was just like, between the slippery slope of what's happening with this and with the disabled community, and like, I'm gonna say this with, okay, I'm gonna preface this with saying I have no problems with any other type of religion. But I keep on, for some reason, TikTok keeps on throwing me white Christian nationalist shit, and I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But I keep on seeing, like, we need to make this country a Christian nation. And I was just like, between the Supreme Court ruling and what I felt like that could do to, like, people such as myself, who I'm quite feminine, and, you know, the slippery slope of that and what's happening in America and what Labour's doing to the disabled community and people in the comment section saying we need to make this a Christian only nation. I was like, as a gay, autistic, pagan guy, I'm like, shall I just go and off myself right now? I was being dramatic. Didn't post it, but I was being very dramatic. I was like, for fuck's sake, yesterday was not a good day. Was not a good day. I'm a practicing witch who is active in her coven. Oh, that's great, Dark Mother. I'm not actually in a coven. I'm a practicing witch myself. Me and my partner both are. But you know when you sit there and you're just like, oh. I was just like, oh, I wanted to cry yesterday because I kept on seeing that. And like I say, got no problems with any religion because, like, I'm somebody that practices my faith as well. As a practicing witch, I practice my faith as well. It was just you know, when you see comments of people like saying, we need to push for just only Christian nation. I'm like, oh. And I know it's TikTok. You're not part of a coven because of where I live. Oh, really, Budgie Boo? I'm sorry. I was part of a coven ages ago, like years upon years ago. Um, I'm just saying in terms of Christianity and that, just LOL keeps popping up on my, it keeps on popping up on mine as well, and I'm like, what? Why? Ugh, I don't know why. It's not. I don't know why it keeps on popping up on mine. We are not evolving as humans. We are going backwards. It's so frustrating. It is, Haley. It is. It is. Yeah. Um. Hey, busy Lizzie. Um. You just lol and scroll. Yeah, Dark Mother. I think yesterday it hit me because between the Supreme Court ruling, I saw this with E, and then I saw like I was like, oh my god, just with everything. I was just like, and because I'm sort of like keeping up with like what Labour's doing with the disabled community, and it's like, oh, I was like, I don't think religion should have any place in politics. Right, Haley, I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. It shouldn't. No, it was Dark Mother like yesterday. I don't know what it was. It was just everything. It was just wild. Oh, I would have for 11 years. If I lose my pip, I would not be able to survive. Right, Jolo, and that that's the danger. I mean, I'm very, I'm very fortunate in the fact that my partner works. I'm very fortunate in that sense. So it's like, and like that. Hang on 1 second. I need to do a puzzle piece. Puzzle. I'm very fortunate in that sense. But there are a lot of people out there who don't have that. Angie says all countries should be allowed to have their own traditions and the country's faith respected without selling ourselves short. Right, Angie? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the people like Alexis Blake. I love Alexis. And Toby J. I feel for. Yeah, I love Alexis. I did see one of her videos as well. She was very upset. Um, uh, Toby J hasn't come up on my For You page in a little bit, but I did. I backed. Actually, no. I think I did see one of Toby J's videos of like he did a video with like a Pink song. I think it was. Um, I think that's the video I saw of Toby J's. But no, you're right, Angie. You're right. Alexis is legendary. She really is. She really is. I love Alexis. I really do. Alexis is awesome. I do love Alexis. I follow her on the Big Red Button app and also on TikTok as well. I follow her on both. But yeah, it's just yesterday was an interesting day. Um, I'm just trying to think of that's related. Yeah, I follow. I think I also follow Toby J on both as well. Alexis is the definition of a great representative for the trans. She really is. There are a lot of brilliant trans individuals out there who represent. There's a video that I'm trying to find. I've liked a lot of videos. A lot of drag content, a lot of makeup content. There's a video that I'm looking for because it's to do with autism. Wait, where is it? Did I like it? I'm sure I did. I'm sure I liked it recently. What the? My videos are all over the shop. Oh,
Trans women.
speaking of Alexis, I knew I liked one of her videos. Here's Alexis's video. It's going to be hard. It is, Jolo. It really is. You know, there are services out there. I don't know where you live, Jolo. I know in Birmingham there is a service called Be There For You because I used to volunteer there. I think I still follow them on Facebook. Devon. I'll have a look. But I'm sure you know that there is services out there She's getting married soon. I didn't see her marriage on, but this is Alexis's response to the Supreme Court rules. Um, and it's really sad.
Women are now not legally recognised as a woman. I'm a trans woman and I want to
This is very, very quiet compared to these video.
talk about it if that's okay. This new law isn't going to protect or help anyone. People can now stop and say to you, you don't look like a woman to me. Are you a biological man? Women are going to have that. I'm sick of being blamed for men's behaviour time and
Yep. Yep.
time again. A man doesn't have to put on a dress and a wig to go into a woman's space and do something bad. They can do it anyway. If you don't know what goes into transition, it's not just a switch that we flip. I had to be legally diagnosed with gender dysphoria. I had to go through a psychological evaluation. I have had 8 surgeries. I had to prove myself time and time again to get my gender recognition certificate, which I got earlier on this year. To now be told that I'm not legally recognised as a woman. I get married this summer. Sorry to make it about me, but I get married this
I hope you're. Aw. She does look fantastic.
summer. And I don't know if that means I'm getting legally married as a man or a woman, which really sucks. Also, something else I want to point out, they want us to use the toilets that aligns with our biological sex. So trans men, women who transition to men, look very much like men. Beards, you would never know. So that means they should then use the women's toilet, which means men can just walk in and say, I'm a trans man, I was born a woman, I should have been here. It's not making anyone safer. And that's the most frustrating thing. It's going to put more women and girls in danger. It's going to put trans people in danger. This is not the end. It's just the start of what they're trying to do. It is discrimination. I understand.
It is. And also, she's right. And also, I really want people to understand the Supreme Court is made up of men. It's not made up of women. It's made up of men. The people that ruled this and defined the people who defined what a woman is was made up not by women. I know a lot of biological women are celebrating, which, again, that's fair. But it wasn't made up by women. It was funded by people like J.K. Rowling, and it was supported by a lot of women. But it was actually made up by men. By men. I really want people to understand that. Women didn't make up the Supreme Court ruling. Men did. And that's the reason why you don't see the same, what defines a man. Because we are defining what a woman is. And it's made up by men. So if she's rightfully upset, how does she think biological women have felt being expected to share? And that's fair, Angie. That's fair. But like, this is where sort of like, when you have somebody like, this is where would you rather have somebody like, would you share a changing room or something like that with somebody like Alexis, or somebody like E? You know what I mean? It's they're safe spaces and put up and shut up. I can understand that, Angie. I can, and this is my sort of like, I do understand the feelings. I really do. Do you think they will now create trans spaces like toilets? Hang on one second. Do you think they will now create trans spaces like toilets, changing rooms, prisons? Question mark. No. We would like them to. I think we would like them to, but I don't think they would. Yeah, exactly, Mel. Alexis and E are are on the total opposite end of the scale. They really are. They really are. Jolo says, at young age, people know that we're born in the wrong bodies. Yes, they do, Jolo. They really do. Alexis, all day, every day, not gonna happen. Yeah. Quasama says, See, it's hard because I think this is unfair on Alexis, but a good thing keeping it out. Right, exactly, Crazy Alarm. And this is the reason we're sort of like giving two different perspectives and giving two different reactions as well. You know, we've seen Alpha's reaction on IG, and this is Alexis's reaction. Right, TikTok. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. And she says, I have no problem with Alexis. The original idea meant we would have to share our safe spaces with somebody like E. I'm guessing what you're going to say. Yeah, exactly. You know, and this is where sort of like it's a very nuanced conversation. And it's a very hard conversation as well. You know, I will turn around and be blunt and honest. I was gonna make a video and just be done with it, um, because am I equipped to have this conversation? Probably not. Um, Probably not. No. I just wanted to have this conversation because you know I've covered E before. I made a video about this situation and stuff like that. Um, Victoria says Alexis knows what she's talking about. E just doing everything for views. Right, Victoria. Exactly. And she says not taking into account the safety of children. Right, Angie. And I think this is where I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. You know, um, children's safety should be put first, and it's where you have this is the reason why people we constantly say to somebody like Elphaba, put 18 plus on, constantly do that. Um, and it's the rate, this is where, like, things happening to children is still going to happen. And that's the sad thing. Is that an AI or a filter? It's animes. Caesar. It's animes, and so you technically call it AI, I guess. I think it's more of a filter. I mean, I designed it. I'm glad you did. It's nice to have a nice, calm conversation about it. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I know. Um, that's the primary reason women are upset. This is a grey area, right, Angie? And it is. It definitely is. It definitely is a grey area. Thank you for the TGIFs, Shazzy, and the Hartney. So people are saying that a man who's not a woman can go into the red thing using this to harm women. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Now says, I think we are going to see the downfall of E because of their attitude towards this and women. Right, and this is where sort of like, this is the thing, Mel, I can understand the anger. I was angry when I first saw this because I can see the slippery slope of it's not just going to affect like the trans community, it's going to affect people like me who has makeup, who has wigs, you know, who's very, well, say feminine. You know what I mean? So I was angry and I was sort of like, and women, I saw a lot of comments with people saying women want to feel safe. And I was like, well, my argument was, well, biological women have been coming into the LGBT plus community for years. And I was very, very angry. And then I took a step back and I went, biological women are also angry. Biological women are also angry because of people like Elphaba. I was angry with the ruling because of how this can affect somebody like me. Doesn't everyone want to feel safe? Exactly, man or woman. Exactly, Mel. Exactly. And that's the reason why I turned around and was like, you know, my initial, angry reaction was like, well, if trans women aren't allowed in biological women's spaces, well, biological women aren't allowed in LGBT plus spaces. And then I sat and thought about it. And I was like, no, everyone should feel safe. Everyone should. Whether that's on my live streams or other people's live streams, or whether that's in LGBT plus spaces like nightclubs and places like that, everyone should feel safe. And I feel like Elphaba coming on and doing what they did, that's a place of anger. Elphaba's coming with a place of anger and gone, you biological women. And I'm like, I can understand the anger. But me, myself, I'm like, that's not going to solve anything. It's not going to solve anything. If we all just turn on each other, and then it's not going to be a play, it's not going to open the conversation. It's not going to open up a safe space for biological women, trans men, biological men, anyone to come and talk about this and talk about these discussions. And I understand people are upset, and I understand that people are angry. That's what happened in America. They've changed all women's safe spaces, allowing non-transition, I get that, non-transition to share their safe spaces because they could not, because it was the right thing to do. I get that, Andrea, I get that. Kim says about Juan. What about Juan? He was in Juan's live last night and was angry that Riley was in chatting nicely away to Juan, and Juan wasn't moving him. The angry should be sent to those like E, people like E make others feel unsafe. Right, Haley, and I get that, and I fully understand that. Are they going to take away women's right to terminate next? That's happened in America, Kaza. I can see it leading to that, because of like legal definitions of like biology and that kind. Because that's how it started in America. So I can see it leading to that. And like I say, the Supreme Court was made up of men, and men were the ones that determined all of this. So this is why I say it's a slippery slope. And I can see the negative Nancy in me, or is it the negative Nancy, or the doom aspect of me, because of what's happened in America. I can see it happening here, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want women's rights to be taken away, to terminate. I don't. I think women should have bodily autonomy of that. So that's my viewpoint on it. I don't agree with what America's done there. Don't agree with whatsoever. Issue is, however, if he walked in, I would have an issue. I get that, Busy Lizzie. I get that. I think it all goes to the fact there is a clear difference of a real trans woman. I get that, Busy Lizzie. At the moment, women in America are going to Europe or other American states that allow the unaliving. Yes, yeah, and they are. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, and a lot of women, because like a lot of women are having their rights taken away, and like this is what I mean. It's very much a slippery slope of what's happening here, and yeah. What was I gonna? I was gonna say something in regards to Ian, and it's gone out my brain. It's gone out my brain. Oh, I was going to say something about Ian, it's gone. But let's finish Alexis's video.
Understand some of the trans community haven't helped the situation. Fuel has been added to the fire by them. If you take anything away from this video, it's that this isn't benefiting women. It's not making women safer, or girls safer. It's going to make them more prone to judgment and criticism from strangers, because if you don't look like what someone thinks a woman should be, you're going to get challenged on that. That's what this ultimately means for women. I'm lucky that I can go out into the world undetected. Not all trans women have the finances and opportunity to make that a possibility, and some genetics don't make that a possibility. I'm lucky and I understand that, but not all trans women are. Hi. A fire has been lit in me by this blatant discrimination against trans women. This really sucks. Bye.
So that was Alexis's video. Let me just read some comments. They're failing women in America. They are. Even for medical reasons, women aren't allowed terminations. Right, Busy Lizzie. Women are passing away because of it. The amount of stories that I've seen. It's so heartbreaking. There was an American woman who was told by her doctor to have an abortion for her health, but wasn't allowed, so had to travel somewhere else, which could have had adverse reasons. Right, Angie, exactly. Because it's disgusting. Women will be stay-at-home wives the way this is going. Yeah, it's people like E that have done this. I get that, Kazza. I get that. I wouldn't have an issue with Alexis in a female bathroom. That's what I was gonna say. But E would probably be live. Yes, and he has done that. That's what I was gonna say. Now that's just reminded me. So like you know, like in an LGBT nightclub, you know, drag queens have gone into female bathrooms. You know, you've seen the stories. You know, drag queens have gone into female bathrooms and they just sat there and had a drink with everyone. You know, party central. Yeah, you would think, Haley. You would think, and this is where it's sort of like I don't. This is where I don't know. When it comes to E, I don't really understand what they are trying to prove here. I don't know what they're trying to prove. But yeah, you would think on medical grounds women have a right to choose. You would think that, Haley, but in America, their rights are being stripped away with that. The law was passed by a room full of suited and booted men with no real idea how the situation really... Right, Angie, exactly. Everything's been decided by rich men. It started when Roe versus Wade got overturned. Yes, Cass. Yeah, it did. Everyone knew that when, especially in America, because when Roe versus Wade was going to be overturned, everyone saw the writing on the wall. And gay marriage is up, believe it or not. Guess what's coming next? They're coming for gay marriage. Yep, that's on the table in America. Jessica from MAFS was on TV yesterday explaining the implications of what this ruling means. Right, Biz Lizzie. And this ruling, like, I have my viewpoints on it, and like I can see the slippery slope of what we're going down. So saying if you got rated, you can terminate. Yeah, Joel, that works in some places, and it works here, but in some states in America, that now no longer applies. They're trying to use this as validation as being trans image. Yes, Baba, they are. Yeah, they are. And they really are. They're going to use this situation for validation for their transness, I guess, would be the right word. No hormone appointment for E on the 30th. What is it? No, E's gone missing, have they? I mean, E was on IG. E was on IG. But wait, what? 007. I like the name. James Bond 007. We like it shaken, not stirred. But no, there is no hormone appointment. No. Most states in America have large I can't say the word subsidiaries. It's that there is a Bible Belt outdated beliefs. Yes, Angie, yeah. And that's the reason why sort of like that maybe 007 took care of them cats. Right, Angie, you are correct. And that's the reason why sort of like when I see comments being made about people want to make the UK a very Christian nation, it does dishearten me a little. Um, they desperately want to fit into a community, but he just doesn't. He sits outside of mocking. Right, Haley. Right, exactly, exactly. I should say Swathies. I'm confused by that 007, but okay. I think he is in competition with Jack. Yes, a lot of people say that Jack's transitioning and he doesn't like it, but I don't get why. I don't get why he's jealous of that. Uh, your mission, should you choose to accept it, go figure out what to do with that E. Oh my god, can you imagine? Somebody's going to create an AI of that now. Just someone's going to create an AI of that now. You just know it. You just know it. Um, Alexis's video wasn't the video I was looking for, but somebody's going to create an AI video of that now. You just know it. Just credit me, that's all I want, right, Cass? Oh my god. I'm looking for a particular autism video. Ah, got it.
Autism.
Right. RFK. This is in America, by the way. And by doing what he does, she's not part of any community. No one wants them. Right, Angie. EQ has to go in the men's. It's wrong. Yeah, I know. Which, by the way, did you see? I know before I bring up this autism video, did you see? Apparently, Rickster went to EQ's and Corey's and somebody else's house. I was like, what? Like, physically turned up to their house. I was like, oh my god. Yo. Yeah, at midnight. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I mean, and it's all over TikTok beef as well. Hey, Antoinette. Justine was on. That's okay, Antoinette. Like, I was like, oh my god, all over TikTok beef. And I get, people can feel angry with what people have said, but oh my life. If I'm correct, didn't EQ and Rickster have a relationship before all this beef? I think so, Busy Lizzie. I think they did. I think Rickster and EQ did have a relationship, like, I want to say years ago. Or was it? Oh, I don't even know. But now Rickster called EQ that man, right? It's like, it's hard to keep up with it. Like, but yeah, I think they did. Like, yeah, Haley, like, people have said that about Rickster. People, I haven't said it. I just seen comments. But I've seen people say that Rickster has, ever since he left EQ, he's been a bit obsessed with her. It's word on the streets. Because Rickster's pathetic. He shouldn't have brought the baby thing to TikTok. Right, Kazza, I get that, yeah. I get that. And, like, it was wild. He shouted through Corey's letterbox and banged on his windows. Rickster's also done questionable things. Selected. Right, Andrew, yeah, like, it's been, like, trying to keep up with it all is, like, nuts. It's gone too far now with going to people's homes. Right, Antoinette, I was just like, people have really turned up to people's houses. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I cover Elphaba a lot. Am I going to turn up to Elphaba's freaking residence? Fuck no. Mainly because they live in London and I live, like, up north. But even if I lived in the same area, am I going to turn up to the person that I'm covering's house? No. No. Fuck that. Just mainly because I'm a lazy cunt and can't be asked. Who tried everyone's door. Right, Kaz, he tried people's door. I'm like, what the hell? And he likes to think he's the mafia. it's all the intimidate. But Rick's just got to know that doesn't work. I mean, like, I don't know how EQ feels because I don't know. I haven't seen what EQ has said or anything. I think I saw somebody cover it. So I don't know whether EQ said anything since morning. I don't know whether EQ said anything, but as a trans woman, I can imagine that she would feel particularly unsafe. You would need a tetanus at the Elphaba's house, right? They could turn up here, but they wouldn't like it. People here can be a bit well, right, Antoinette? It's like, it's like, oh, thank you for the heart me, by the way. Yeah, it's like, oh, EQ's single any time of the day. That behavior would be wrong. No, yeah, it was just wild to me. I saw that and was just like, what? I was like, why are we turning up to people's houses now? Again, I don't like what he does. I don't like what a lot of people do. Am I going to turn up to people's house? Fuck no. Anyone would be scared, right? Exactly. Whether they're a trans woman, a woman, or just a man. Like, anyone would be scared. 3 men outside your house, especially late at night. Right, Kazza, exactly. Like, you'd be petrified, wouldn't you? It's like 3 men turning up outside your door. What the fuck? Like, what the actual hell are people doing? Yeah, I saw that and was just like, what are we doing? They went after Corey's family and his nan before she passed away. I ruined his business. Didn't I see somebody do that like this? I think I saw. I don't know whether it was Rickster. I just know that it was somebody that smashed Corey's doors in or something. No, car door. Did they smash in Corey's car door? Wild. And pull up to mine. I've got anger issues and no real outlet. Well, that would be an interesting thing. Directing the anger at. It's like, we got anger issues. Yeah. I'm technically a pacifist, but I can definitely understand that. Wait, hang on. I've just realised something. I just realised that I need to send a message. All premeditated, right? Someone is going to get serious, right, Antoinette? And we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want people to get hurt. I mean, yeah, that's it, Joel. He would love people to turn up. He would go on live saying he got a stalker. Yeah, right, Joel. Exactly. Yeah, that would be the thing. Yeah, right. And it's going a bit too far. Like, what the fuck? Not angry moment decision or premeditated. You reckon, Busy Lizzie? Like, to turn up at somebody's door, yeah, that's pretty premeditated. Oh, the car door issue was DB's house and Cat being fast. Oh, right. Was that it, Angie? I remember, like, some car thing happening. Like, was that not too long ago? Was that this year or last year? A lot happens on this app. Like, a lot happens. Yeah, that is planned. Like, 3 houses in one day. That is definitely planned. As much as we dislike these people, no one deserves this. Right, exactly. Exactly. No one deserves that. Rickster posted that he would turn up to their houses if they didn't apologise. That's wild, though. Corey's windows were bricked by Sam Walker and friends last year. Oh, right, because that was last year. A lot happens on this goddamn app. It was tied to the friend of Dade Duran's friend. Oh my god. Just a lot happens on this app. But, like, why? What would he do if they open the door? Well, that's the thing. What would actually happen if things turned out the other way. Like, anything can happen in a split second, especially if you turn up to someone's house. Like, they have sharp implements. You turn up at their door. Someone can get stabby. And, I mean, Rickster's lucky that didn't happen, but it could lead that way. It's school bully behaviour. Yeah, Kazu, it is. It's the fact he and Talia denied he tried the handles. The evidence is there. I mean, all the evidence is there, Anna. All the evidence is there. It's like people. Evidence. Oh, wild. Sam Walker is Dave's friend. Excuse me. Fan Pats for DB says, right, God. See, Angie, people, a lot happens on this app, doesn't it? A lot happens on this app. Like, so much happens on this app. See, this is the reason why I love, like, my FYP. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do follow the drama, some of it. I mainly follow E. Receipts, screenshots, evidence. Yeah, that's a good... I need that as a soundboard. So, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, like... My FYPs, drag queens, gaming, all the things. I have a very big dog who likes to bite first, ask questions later. Is anyone tried? Right, Busy Lizzie? I mean, I would say I have an attack cat, but that's not technically true. She runs and hides, literally. Unless it's me or my partner. Anybody else comes into this house, nope, she's gone. Disappears. Now my own big dog. Right, I get that, Andrew. Charlie is behind all of Rickster's antics and then hides and denies when he does it. Yeah, I think they are very much... I will turn around and say this. From what I've seen of Rickster and Talia, they do gas each other up, and they do... they're not a very... This isn't me giving, like, relationship advice or anything, but they seem a very toxic couple. They seem a very toxic couple. Now I've got two cats that do the same. Right, Antoinette? My cat just runs and hides. I say I have an attack cat, but I really don't. They said that someone turned up to theirs over the weekend, but where's the proof? Well, that's the thing, you know. Where's the proof? We need screenshots, receipts, evidence. Yes, Kaz, they're supposed to be practicing Christians too. Not very Christian-like. What would Jesus do? I mean, considering Jesus was a carpenter. Now, if we're talking, like, ancient Greece, we know what those men did. Never mind. Never mind. That's the gayness coming out of me. We have CCTV all over our property really busily. That's smart, though. How are they allowed to be on here? Well, they both have said it is disgusting. Well, that's the thing, Shazzy. That's the thing. Giggity. Hey, Jojo. That's the thing, you know. She's the puppet master. Someone did say she should be looking over her shoulder. He'll do it to her. Well, yeah, that's the thing, though, isn't it, Angie? You know. People need to be careful about the company that they keep in that regard, because what they'll do for you, they'll do to you.